Broadcast. Department of Defense Civilian Alert Protocol 93B. This is a Level 3 National Threat Advisory. All active duty personnel, reserve members, and military support staff are to stop what they're doing and listen carefully. This message will not be repeated over open channels. As of 0500 this morning, multiple forward operating bases and training sites across the Midwest have reported confirmed encounters with unauthorized civilian entities inside secured zones. These individuals appear entirely human at first glance. White t-shirt, dark jeans, bare feet. The giveaway is always the same. The smile. It is too wide. It stretches further than bone should allow, past the natural corners of the mouth, held by tension that doesn't tremble, doesn't break. These entities do not blink. They do not speak unless spoken to, and when they do, the voice doesn't match the movement of their lips. It plays slightly out of sync, like dubbed audio. If you see a civilian on base with an unnatural smile, do not engage. Do not return the smile, and for God's sake, do not ask them what they're doing there. We lost 7 men in Kentucky after an infantryman asked, "Are you lost?" The man in question smiled wider, inhaled for 23 seconds without exhaling, and whispered something that made blood leak from the soldier's ears. All 7 are alive. None of them speak anymore. They only grin. Reports date back to July 1961. A single unarmed civilian walked across the firing range at Camp Pendleton in broad daylight. Smiling, they halted all operations, detained him, and locked him in a reinforced holding room. 5 minutes later, the lights went out. When they came back on, every surface was covered in a viscous clear gel. The man was gone, along with a corporal who had been on watch. They found her weeks later, naked, standing in the middle of the Arizona desert with the same too wide smile carved into her face. You're going to be told these things are hallucinations, mass psychosis, stress responses. That's what command is circulating to the press, but you know better. You've seen things during deployment that don't make it into the after-action reports, and deep down, you can feel it too, that something's off. Like how the security footage always skips at the exact moment the smile appears, or how the dogs on base refuse to bark when one of them is near. There are rules now, unofficial ones. They've passed from unit to unit like folklore, but they keep people alive. 1. If you hear soft humming behind you and there's no one there, it's already too late. 2. If the civilian turns to leave, but you never saw them arrive, do not watch them go. Close your eyes, cover your ears, let them leave unacknowledged. 3. If one smiles at you, hold your breath. As long as you're not breathing, it can't mirror you. These rules were written in blood in the latrine of Outpost 17C. The last survivor etched them with a broken piece of glass, then tore out his own teeth before backup arrived. Here's what they won't print in the debriefs. These things show up before an operation goes wrong, before a helicopter crashes, before a comms blackout, before friendly fire becomes a training accident. They linger on the outskirts of barracks, standing in the tree line, or just past the fence. And the moment you acknowledge them, that's the moment things begin to unravel. One private swore he saw his own mother outside the motor pool, smiling just like the others. She'd been dead for 4 years. He shot himself the next morning with no note, but scrawled one word into his boot polish on the wall above his bunk. Mirror. There's speculation. Some say they're experiments, bioweapons that learned how to wear human skin. Others think they're older than the military itself, that they feed on attention, on fear. That smiling is a ritual, a signal, a door. What we know for certain is this: they don't bleed. A squad in Virginia put 17 rounds into one. It didn't flinch, just turned and smiled wider, like the mouth was opening backwards. They had to burn the body, and even then, the teeth didn't melt. If you are deployed and you encounter one of these things, follow burn protocol. Do not engage. Do not interrogate. Do not feel sympathy. They are not civilians. They are not people. They are something wearing a memory like camouflage, and they've been getting bolder. Reports are coming in from civilian airports, VA hospitals, even inside the Pentagon. We are not supposed to be saying this over open comms, but at this point, we've lost containment. They're in the cities, they're in homes. One was seen waving at school children from behind a chain link fence. Final warning. If you're on base and you receive a knock at your barracks door at exactly 3:33 a.m., do not answer. It doesn't matter if it sounds like your drill sergeant, or your mother, or a friend you lost overseas, the voice will beg, it will plead, it will laugh. But once the door opens, it never closes again. If you're hearing this message, and you've smiled even once in the last 90 seconds, stop. Immediately. Look away from the screen. Cover every mirror in your room, and wait for dawn, because if you smiled, they know your face now, and they're already on their way.